it's like having a puppy. It's forever, it's not for Christmas. Don't be giving your babies away.
This is not where I thought this was gonna go.
This is the thing about, like, you don't know where it's going to go.
Should we jump right in?
Why not?
Okay. Alright, hey.
Hey!
So, obviously you guys were a pretty close cast. Would you mind sharing one funny moment or inside joke that you guys had on Lord of the Rings?
On Lord of the Rings. Something that still makes me laugh. I'll be lying in bed and I still giggle. It's me and Dom. We're down in the South Island. And they gave us cars to get around and to get to the studio and all that. But we flew down to this location, and so we didn't have our cars with us. And then they changed the filming schedule, and they were going to go to another place further down south in the South Island. And me and Dom thought, it'd be great to drive and see some of the country. And we said, we don't have our cars. And Sean Bean, who doesn't like to fly, he had his car, but he was sick of driving. So he said, look, I'm just going to fly, take my car. So we drove down and we looked at all these beautiful places in New Zealand and had a lovely time. And the next morning we were to give the car back to Sean Bean, and we thought, we can't just give him his car back. So we bought a fish, like a trout or something, like a big fish, and we hid it in his trunk. And for weeks he would arrive on set going, oh, my car's stinking. I've had it washed 3 times. And we never ever told him we put a fish in his trunk.
He might know now.
He might know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still with him.
Okay, hi. I know I had a lot of thoughts and emotions whenever I hear The Last Goodbye. I wanted your opinion on how did you feel, how do you feel, and what are your thoughts about creating this song and kind of closing up the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit?
I mean, the first thing is what an honour it was, you know, to be asked to do it. And it happened because at the end of the third movie, Pippin sings The Edge of Night, which... Thanks very much. And that was a song that I wrote while I was in New Zealand. So they used it for the trailer of the Battle of the Five Armies. So I was speaking to the filmmakers because of that. And we came up with the idea of, well, why don't we write the final song together? And so I flew down to New Zealand very quickly, and it was weird because I was watching the movie and writing the song, but then, you know, at night and in the mornings I would go to my favourite cafes that I spent years in, you know, with Dom and Elijah and Orlando, and it just felt like I was saying goodbye to all that time, and so it was more than just the last goodbye to that single movie, and even all the Hobbit movies, or even all the Middle-earth movies. It was a sort of goodbye to, kind of more than anything, the fans. It was like saying, God, we've all went through this huge journey, and it's finished now. Isn't that weird and in some ways kind of awful, you know? So it had a lot of kind of layers that I hope are in there, you know. Thank you.
Hello. Speaking of The Edge of Night, as you just did, can you tell us the story about how that came to be, so that you were the one that wrote it?
Right, yeah. So, we went to dinner. we had too much wine. There was a karaoke bar. We went to the karaoke bar. I sang Delilah by Tom Jones. Very loudly, in a drunken stupor. And the next day, one of the writers said, do you want to sing in the movie? We want to have a song in there. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. So Howard Shore, who's written the most beautiful music, I think, in cinema history, he was going to write it, and then they changed the schedule, and we were filming the scene in like 3 days. So Pete and Fran said, could you write something? And I was like, yeah. So I sat one night and I tried to think, I tried to make it like a song that the Tooks, that he'd have heard his grandfather sing at a party, you know. And I wanted it to be sort of Scottish in feeling and have a kind of Celtic. And I sang it along with a couple of other tunes, but we all agreed that that was the one. And then we recorded it on set, and that was it.
What's your favorite thing about playing Pippin?
About what?
About playing the character Pippin.
Oh God. Actually, before we do that, which is a lovely question, we're just talking about Edge of Night. Maybe we should just sing it. Can we dim the lights just slightly? Yeah. And could we get a steward of Gondor?
I think they should bring their phone lines back out.
Do you think so?
I think
so
we'll
it's
set
like
the mood.
Bon Jovi sort of thing.
Sure.
I think you should eat some tomatoes.
I don't have one.
Well, I wish you did. Little cherry tomatoes.
I'm sure somebody could bring me a cherry tomato.
Ready? Home is behind, the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread, through shadow to the edge of night, until the stars are all on light. Mist and shadow, cloud and shade, all shall fade, all shall fade. So talking about what I like most about Pippin is, I think there's a truthfulness to him. Thinking about that in that moment, when that kind of, what he learned was quite a horrible guy who was sending his son to death, that, you know, Pippin found something from the Shire that kind of helped him sort of deal with it. And I like the sort of, the truthfulness of Pippin. Yeah. That's me up there. escalator, and I was chasing it all the way down, and I could tell everyone was looking at me, and right at the last step it smashed, and I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of walked away. Once I was on a date when I was younger, and I was in a park and it was going great, and a bird pooed on my head. And I pretended I had a sore stomach and I left. Never seen her since. That's two things that have happened to me that were pretty weird. I used to own a bird, a budgerigard, and I got out of its cage, and I couldn't get it back in its cage for about 4 days. And we opened the window and it flew out. And from that day, I used to see a lot of budgerigards out in the street. A lot of people must open their windows and they fly out. And before that day, I'd never noticed a budgerigard because they're from Africa or somewhere. What are they doing flying about Glasgow? All these crazy red, yellow and blue birds that people must have just opened their windows and have flown out. Is this a Glasgow thing? The dog poos in the 80s used to be white. Were dog poos ever white? Like the colour white? Right? Not all dog poos, but some. What was that? Hands up if you've ever seen a white dog poo. Has anyone ever seen a white dog poo past 1995? Do you know what causes white dog poo? She does. Come here. This is interesting stuff. I've always wondered that. Hold on.
Raw diet. It's the calcium.
Raw diet.
Yeah, from bones they eat.
From bones. So if you feed a dog bones,
Yeah.
any bones,
They eat a lot of it.
they need to eat a lot of bones.
Yeah, not cooked bones, though. Raw bones.
Raw bones,
Yeah.
and the dog poo will be white.
Will be white because of the calcium.
So dogs are eating less bones these days.
Dogs are eating crappier food these days.
Dogs back in the time of like Napoleon, there'd be a lot of white poos.
I don't think Purina was around then.
What was it?
Purina or Iams or any of the.
But there'd be a lot of bones.
Yeah. So I'm eating.
Most animals have bones.
Most animals are invertebrates.
Right. What's that? Chat.
Yeah, what?
Are you a zoologist?
I work at Utah's Hogle Zoo, yes.
She's an educator, and I've just been educated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for singing for us.
Oh, that's nice. There you go. It's because of bones. What do you think of that?
I think you got to relax for a minute.
It was quite nice, but my hip bone was sort of sticking in it.
Maybe you gotta work it out.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry. We were on the dog poos and all that. We'll get 21 minutes and 49 seconds.
What Lord of the Rings film was your favorite / most fun to work on?
I really like the third one. I like Pippin's journey through the third one because he's starting to realise, wait a minute, this is a bit serious. I'm not saying it took him 2 movies to work that out. serious. But I like Pippin's. But I also like the first one because I like you know how they're making or they've made the Magnificent Seven again. Well, I love the Magnificent Seven, and I love that they all got together and they all had different skills. Like one's good with a knife, and then the other six are good with guns. You know what I mean? And I kind of like that about the Fellowship, that, you know, there's a wizard and there's a guy who's amazing with a sword, and then there's the guy with the long hair. And, you know, it was like the Magnificent Seven, so I like the first one because of that, you know? So, and then I like the second one because there's a walking tree. Professor Tolkien had found some pipeweed in that book. The trees all started walking. So to be honest, I think they're all better than Harry Potter. That's what I'm saying.
My face hurts.
Mine too. I'm a hip bone.
We have one more.
Yeah, hey Billy, nice to meet you. I'm Joe. We chatted a little earlier. First of all, I just wanted to say, after watching Lord of the Rings, the second breakfast, you guys had that down. Ever since then, I've been eating second breakfast, and I grew to this height. So, anyways, yeah. Also, I'm a dentist, and so I always promote dental health. What do you feel about brushing your teeth after for second breakfast? Do you do it, or?
That's a good question. I might have to get back to my educator here. You're a dentist, you'll know this. When you eat something, should you brush straight away, or are you just brushing that into your teeth?
Actually, it depends on what it is. If it's orange juice, something acidic, you actually brush the demineralized crystals away. But if you wait,
This is interesting here.
for the most part, you should brush it away, but you should first rinse out your mouth. If it's something acidic, wait a little while. Putting fluoride in your mouth is actually a good thing, like ACT or something like that. I think they're going to pay me for this.
No, this is good, guys. Oh, you're all learning from this.
But yes, brush and floss every day.
Well, you can't just jump from the orange juice to brush your foot. I've got a lot more questions. I've only got 18 minutes and 10 seconds. I've jumped from 27 really fast.
It was while you were rinsing.
Are people saying that he's just talking nonsense? Let's just skip this.
It makes sense to me.
Thanks for the tips. I don't know if hobbits brush their teeth. I'll think about that. Nice of you, isn't it? Hello.
Hello, Willie. How you doing? It's
good.
nice to meet you. First of all, happy birthday to your belly button.
Thank you very much.
I
My mum told me that if you press it, your bum falls off. That's not just my mum, a lot of mums say it. But it doesn't happen. I press mine all the time. Just to see what happens. It never happened.
That's funny. You are a humorous individual. I love it. How has Tolkien influenced your life since having done the movies? I presume you've read all the books.
Yep.
And the scripts by Peter Jackson. Can't even say his last name.
Jackson.
Anyway, thank you. How has Tolkien influenced your life?
Oh God, in many ways. You know, I love storytelling. I think is really important, and we have to remember that and teach our kids, you know, and get them to tell us stories. Don't be like that person up there trying to give your kids away. Hold on to them and get them to tell you stories, it's good. So for storytelling, I think he was one of the great storytellers. So that, and then I made a lot of good friends and stuff, you know, as well, friendship. Let's call Don. Let's see what he says. Hold on. Does anybody know who Dominic Monaghan is? It's always a worry to call them because you never know what might happen. Where does the sound come from? Oh, there. Dominic, I'm in the bath with 5,000 people. Switch off the electric blanket, honestly, because I forgot to tell you, I'm in Salt Lake City.
You said you'd be over by 5 o'clock.
I'm in 5 o'clock Monday. What was that?
I made some roasted vegetables, they're almost done. I'm half a bottle of wine in. I'm going to put your dinner in the dog.
Dominic, don't do that. Just keep it, it'll be fine. Vegetables last for like 5 or 6 days. Hey Dom, do you think that hobbits brush their teeth?
It's a good question.
Something there.
Now, I have a question for you as well. Since the Dukes invented golf, why does Pippin not walk around with like a sandwich or a potter?
That's a good question, that, Tom. Yeah. And I'll tell you what. No, it's very good, that. And I'll tell you why. Because he went on the adventure before knowing that, you know, it was all going to kick off. So he didn't have time to pick up his golf clubs.
Yeah, because I know you get a sword and all that kind of stuff. I would imagine that you could make pretty tasty work of an orc or an uruk-hai with like a 3-wood or a
I think that's a good point, Tom, and I think you've made that quite well. I'm going to look back at the books and see if there's any mention.
Yeah, have a look. Give it a read. It's only 1,000 pages.
Well, Dom, once again, I apologise for not being there. And yeah, if you could buy a dog and then feed it my dinner, that would be fine.
Before you go, just tell the people there what book you're reading at the moment.
Oh yeah, Dom told me about a book that I started reading on the flight last night, and I would recommend you all get it because it's fantastic. And it is called Go Dom. Go Dom.
That's terrible.
Oh, you see it, you gave it to
Did
me.
you say it? Oh wow, you left it in suspenders there. It's called Ready Player One.
Some people like it, especially a young lady in the front row who almost wet herself there.
And that guy Steven Spurgelio, he's making it into a film that we can go watch next year. You know, have some popcorn, I'll buy you a Coca-Cola and some Sour Patch Kids.
I would love that, Dom.
Listen, say hello to everybody that's there. I'm sorry that I'm not there. I guess I'll turn off the electric blanket and I'll just finish off this bottle of wine to myself.
Yeah, do that. Have a little cuddle. 2 seconds.
Hi, big fan of Lord of the Rings and everything that you've done there, but I wanted to ask about filming on the HMS Surprise in Master and Commander as Barry.
That was great fun. We had to arrive we arrived really early. It was in Mexico. This is the movie Master and Commander. And then we actually got to sail this magnificent ship, and we learned how to bring up the sails and tie the ropes, and it was just everything about that movie had to be authentic. So we did it all exactly as it would be done. It was such a wonderful experience. It was fantastic. And we weren't allowed mirrors in our dressing room because the director wanted us to look all dishevelled, and it was great. I loved it. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi. So my question is, in all of your cinematographic...
You chose to say a huge word. I'd have just said your work.
Yeah, that. What has been the most emotionally challenging scene for you to film?
I think we just spoke to Dom there. Do you remember the scene where Pippin finds Dom, Merry, on the battlefield and he thinks he's dead? We filmed that all day, and it was tears, and it was and there was snot hanging out. We did it all day, and I remember when I finished, I thought, oh my God, thanks, that's done, That was a hard day. And the next morning, Pete says, we've got some stuff still to get on that. So Billy, if you could get yourself up to that emotional. And I was like, oh God. Oh, I just had a pancake, and it was about 5:30 in the morning. I think that was probably the hardest day. Hey, I promised some people that I was going to sing some stuff.
Nobody's talked about meat cake yet.
No one's talked